Good morning, and thank you for stopping by. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. If you are not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when new videos arrive. I had an idea for a video already set up. I was going to do this video. I had already planned on it. But then at the last minute, as I was trying to do the video, as I was trying to get started, I just couldn't bring myself to talk about it. It was going to be about the coronavirus and how Seattle was the very first city that they know of in the United States that was attacked or that actually suffered because of the coronavirus. I was going to do that video. I had a whole thing all laid out. I had it all planned. I was going to do how it was going to attack the homeless, wipe out the homeless population. It was going to attack the elderly because they're in nursing homes and they're really sick and they're probably, heaven forbid, but they're probably going to pass away anyway. And there would be no great loss there as far as the government is concerned. They would just be collateral damage. A thinning out of the herd, so to speak. But I decided to change my topic. And instead, I'm going to talk about inflation. I was trying to figure out why things cost more now than they used to. Why stuff is more expensive now than it used to be. Back when I was a kid, you could go to the store and get candy in a bag, very cheap. You could go and get a piece of candy for a penny. Take $1, get 100 pieces of candy. When you're a kid, it's like the difference between night and day. Now, our money was still kind of backed by something. But around 1970, our money started to go down. It became worth less. Instead of it being $1, it basically took $3 to make up that $1. Inflation. The 60s. The people in the 60s basically caused that to happen. And the more you have of something, the less it is worth. Now, I'm an artist. And I know this because the more pieces that are out there of my artwork, the less it's going to be worth. Unless I'm an extremely famous artist and I can command that kind of money. But like, if, say you have very few silver dollars that were created, the demand for that particular silver dollar is going to be worth, it's going to be a lot. People will pay a lot of money to get it. Old coins, old dollars, stuff that's very rare, that there wasn't very many of them made, you're going to be commanding a lot of money for that. Now, when the price of the dollar went down, when the dollar became less than $1, way less than $1, when it became worth less than $1, then they had to pay people more wages to make up the difference. And in doing so, they had to raise the cost of the product to cover the cost of the raise that people got. Now, they're saying that if you get rid of inflation, you will basically throw us into a down spiral, and basically we will go in the rough, so to speak. I was thinking inflation and cost of living were the same, but it's not. Inflation and cost of living are two totally different things. The cost of living is how much it is for you to have to pay for something, how much it costs for you to live, price of groceries, price of an apartment, price of gas, price of automobiles, price of clothing. And that's due to inflation because we're putting more money out into the public to stimulate the economy. It's like your dollar is not worth anything anymore, so I'm going to give you a whole bunch of it so that way you can have more money to spend. But in doing so, it drives the cost of the product up because it costs more to make the product now because you're paying more. See, the thing is that employers, they want to take and make it seem like your dollar is worth a dollar. They're giving you a dollar's worth of a dollar. But actually, your dollar is not worth but about maybe 45 cents on the dollar. 45 cents. So when they see that they want to raise the cost of the product and make it seem like they're paying you a dollar for every dollar you make, but they're not. They're paying you basically 45 cents, maybe 50 cents, maybe 60 cents at the most on the dollar because the dollar is not worth as much as it used to be. So it's like they get a discount, but they want to charge full price for it. And you can't do that because it throws everything into chaos. And when you keep a country in chaos, like the old saying goes, where there's chaos, there is profit. When there is a load of chaos going on, somebody will always profit from that. They always do. They always have. They always will. That's why major companies love chaos. Look at the pandemic. Amazon made off like a bandit. Stores that sell online made off like a bandit. There were people that were buying stuff really, really cheap at stores, and then they were turning around and reselling them on eBay and charging a major profit. Where there is chaos, there is profit. Do I think it's right? No, I don't. But that's the way it goes. And if you get caught, then you get in some major doo-doo. If you don't get caught, then hopefully you can sleep good at night. So, how do we get inflation to come down and the actual worth? How do we get inflation to come down, and how do we get the worth of the dollar to go up? Because that's what we want to do. We want to bring inflation down, and we want to raise the price of the dollar up higher than the inflation, which means that we want less money floating around because it's worth more than more money floating around that's not worth as much. Back when the stock market crash happened back in the 20s, I remember watching a movie called It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. And he had a small savings and loan. And across the way was a major banker who owned basically the whole town. And when the stock market crash hit, people were scared and they wanted to pull their money, their physical cash, out of the bank because they could hold it and they could touch it and they could feel it. Now, if they would have been smart and just left their money sitting in the bank, the stock market crash would have probably been over in maybe a couple of weeks' time. And we wouldn't have had the major stock market crash like we had. But people need to see tangible goods. They need to see things that they can feel and touch and smell. And believe it or not, money does have a smell to it. It's got an ink smell. Um, Also, when you have chaos like that, just like in the movie It's a Wonderful Life, the guy comes into the small savings and loan and says, "Hey, so and so across the way is offering us 40 cents on the dollar. If we'll take out our money and go to him, he'll buy it off of us. He'll give us 20 cents on the dollar." Well, the savings and loan guy, Jimmy Stewart, was like, "Come on now. You've been with us how long? Just leave your money in the bank. How much do you need to get by for the next couple of days? How much do you really need?" And the one guy says, "I want my money now. I want all $200 of it." So Jimmy Stewart tries to talk the guy into keeping his money in the bank, and he says, "No, I want my money." So Jimmy Stewart gave him his money. He closed out his account, and he came back, and he left, and everybody else was like, "Well, I can maybe get by with, say, $200. I mean, I could get by with maybe, say, $20. And he says, "Oh, that's more like it." Now, they had money, they had cash that was given to them as a wedding present. They were going to use it to go off and do something and have a honeymoon, but they decided to help everybody in the savings and loan. And when people found out that the savings and loan didn't actually have their physical cash, they started freaking out. But cooler heads prevailed, and he said, "Look, your money is tied up in so-and-so's house. Your money's tied up in so-and-so's house, and your money's tied up in so-and-so's business. We use your money to do that. That's why we give you a premium, or we give you money for letting us use your money while it's in here. That's why you get interest." And that's the same thing for today. Banks will pay you interest because you're allowing them to use your money to do their business. They don't have trillions of dollars just hanging around. They use everybody that has an account. They use their money. And if they had just been patient, the stock market might not have been as bad. The crash may not have happened, and Wall Street would have got back up on its feet, and everything would have been hunky-dory. And today we would probably be a lot better off than we were. But inflation is up because we have way too many dollars in the market at one time. When you have less dollars floating around, the dollar is worth more. Less is more. You ever heard that? Less is more? Less is more. Sometimes more is not more. Sometimes more is less. You think you got way more, which isn't more. You got less of more. And sometimes less is more. The less you have, the more it's worth. So, yeah. So, if you know anything more than I do, which I'm just some stupid idiot that does YouTube videos, and yeah, you can say I'm a stupid idiot. I don't care. I wouldn't blame you. But hopefully I can say something that may get you to think about something. That's my whole intent. I'm not trying to educate you on stuff you don't already know. I'm trying to stimulate your brain into thinking about things in a different way. That's what I'm trying to do. And I've been doing these videos for a very long time, and I've been hoping that I could get you guys to think about something that you hadn't thought of before. Maybe you look at something a different way. I'm not saying I have all the answers. I don't know everything. I have my viewpoints on things. I have my opinions on things. But I don't box myself into a small package and stay there. People can say stuff that maybe I didn't know about. Like with Donald Trump, for instance. There was a lot of really good things that he did do that the news didn't talk about. A lot of things that he got accomplished that the news didn't tell you about. Whether he physically got them done or they were done on his watch, they were still done, and he still should get the credit for that. Now, I didn't vote for Joe Biden. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. I didn't vote for Joe Biden either. I voted for Bernie Sanders. Why? Because I felt Bernie Sanders would make a better president. But I know in reality, Bernie Sanders is too forward thinking for most America. He wants way too much too soon. We need to gradually take some of his ideas and basically kind of implement them in a little bit of a way, not like go hog wild. You don't need Republican. You don't need Republican, and you don't need Democrat. What you need is the best of each. You take the best of the Republicans, you take the best of the Democrats, and you take the best of the independent, and you put them together, and you'll have the perfect candidate. But you also got to realize America is different. We're 243 years old. 243 years old. Probably this coming 4th of July, it'll be 243. We're the new kids on the block, really, if you think about it. And we claim that we know what's going on. It's not even been 250 years, and we have gotten so far off track and so far out of whack that we basically are going to sink ourselves if we're not careful. And I don't believe there's enough Americans that care enough about America to want to do its job properly. Back to the inflation. It should come down. I don't think minimum wage should go up. I think minimum wage should stay where it's at. I don't think a minimum wage job was ever meant to be a career. I think it was meant to be for kids out of high school looking for a job opportunity, a little job growth before they go to college. They get a little job under their belt, they go to college, they go on to a career. But times have changed, and a lot of people rely on a minimum wage job now. So, what do? We up the minimum wage? Nope, the cost of the product will go up. Look at my pillow as an example. It's made in America. He pays his employees good. I know a couple of people that work for him. They make at least 20 bucks an hour. Okay? Can you wonder why he charges $100 for a pillow? There's less than $10 worth of material in that pillow, and less than $15 worth of employment in the making of that pillow. But he charges $100. That's why he gives you a free pillow to make it worth you buying the pillow. He believes so little in his pillow that he will not sell one for $50 or for $100. Mike Lindell will charge you $100 for the pillow, or close to that for the pillow, and then he will give you a free one just because he knows that people will not pay $100 for a pillow. But if you buy one, get one, people like to get a free deal. They like to get something free. And he knows that. I'm not down on Mike Lindell. I'm just using him as an example of why American-made products, although they can be good, they will be costly because other countries pay their employees way less than America. That means that they can make their product cheaper and sell it cheaper than we can by making it in the United States. So, this video ran long. I'm sorry about that. It's about 20 minutes. I normally don't make a video this long if I can help it, but I got carried away, so please forgive me on that. If you know something that I don't about the inflation, the high cost of living, products made in America, minimum wage, and all of that jazz, please put it down there in the comment below. If you would like to give me a thumbs up And hit that like button, do that as well. And if you would like to subscribe, please do that as well, so that way you can be notified when new videos arrive. I am going to let you go with this note. Make tomorrow better than yesterday by doing the very best we can today. Have a great morning, America, and all points beyond.